and use of force. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
We Energies is defending its proposed rate increases as local groups call on state regulators to reject them. Ian Schmidt-Ernst with Wisconsin Conservation Voters argues customers cannot afford another increase.
Being out in communities in northeast and southeast Wisconsin, one thing is clear. People are sick of We Energies rate hikes.
The group says residential electric bills would go up about 14% over the next 2 years. We Energy spokesperson Brendan Conway tells WTMJ the proposal includes investments aimed at preventing outages and improving reliability.
No one wants to see rising energy costs. We realize that. That's why our filing includes hundreds of millions of dollars in customer savings and another $30 million we propose that would go back to customers just this fall in fuel cost savings.
The Public Service Commission is reviewing the request and will make a decision later this year. Canada is starting to clap back, imposing 50% tariffs of its own against some U.S. goods starting today.
President Trump threatening Canadian leaders to fall in line as he threatens to impose new 50% tariffs on car parts, cars, and steel. On top of the steep tariffs he's already imposed on furniture, textiles, building supplies, and alcohol. Canada responding, vowing to impose a dollar-for-dollar tariff on their own. The president brushing that off, writing on social media, "We don't need Canada, they need us."
ABC's Rachel Scott. As of now, no further talks scheduled between the U.S. and Canada. Iran now vowing retaliation to new U.S.-imposed sanctions as the military fight between the two countries has turned into an economic battle.
Iran's response, their parliamentary speaker writing on X, Americans know that no one buys their bombast. The United States is not in an economic position to further restrict its relations with other countries. That a direct reference to China, one of Iran's biggest oil customers, also one of the United States' largest trading partners. So if the White House follows through on this threat of secondary sanctions, we could see a third front opening in the president's economic offensive. Canada, Iran, and perhaps maybe China.
News Nation's Corey Smith reporting the Treasury Department says it is cutting all economic ties to Iran. About 63,000 people still under evacuation orders in Nevada as the Hawk wildfire continues to burn in Reno. Fire Chief Richard Edwards says more than 800 personnel are battling the flames.
Thus far, we've had 4 civilian injuries and 3 firefighters injured during the course of this disaster.
Dozens of homes have been damaged or destroyed. The fire now about 27% contained. Calmer winds are expected today. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow up 31 points at 53,442. The NASDAQ sitting at 26,069. That's up about 89 points. And the S&P 500 is up 10 at 7,660. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Have you seen videos of Russian floating folk dancers?
Floating Russian Whoosy-Watsits?
They wear long dresses so you can't see their feet, so it looks like they're gliding on air.
I've seen those videos. Impressive.
That reminds me of the dining chairs with the Brody table.
The Brody table is my favorite table at Penny Mustard.
You know, the unique design kind of resembles one of those Russian dancers.
You're right.
And check out these upholstered caster dining chairs.
I don't see any casters.
Precisely. It looks like the chair's gliding on air. Here, I'll show you. I can glide over here.
Ooh, nice.
And I can glide over there.
Be careful.
And I can...
Watch out!
I never was a very good dancer.
The Brody table, paired with 4 caster dining chairs, starting at $64.22 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Get your final August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell post-game concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then, it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the Final Kids Cheer Free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Hike poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at Brewers.com.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style as long as they're the best. Eggland's best.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. First place Brewers back in action today out east, starting a 3-game series against the Mets. Some encouraging news over the weekend. Pitcher Brandon Woodruff appears he'll avoid season-ending shoulder surgery after a follow-up scan revealed some unexpected healing. Manager Pat Murphy on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Everyone knows what he's capable of when he's healthy, and I think we should be hopeful. I'm not telling you that it's likely. I'm just saying I'm hopeful.
Woodruff has begun a 5-week throwing program trying to build up some arm strength. Meanwhile, Kyle Harrison is scheduled to take the mound tonight for the Crew. All of our coverage at 5:35 right here on WTMJ. Packers gearing up for their final preseason game this week. Green Bay will host the Arizona Cardinals, and the teams will have a joint practice tomorrow morning at Ray Nitschke Field, and then the two teams will wrap up the preseason Friday night at Lambeau. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're dealing with a bit of an issue, 94 eastbound. This is right out of the Stadium Interchange, right at 35th Street. The right shoulder block there, that's because of an accident. So you are tapping the brakes a bit as you hit the Stadium Interchange, and then eases up once you get past 35th in that stretch. And then also just something to be mindful of, this is 43 northbound if you're using the exit to Good Hope Road. Looks like we do have some debris on the ramp there. Looks like a sheriff's deputy out there trying to clear it, so just something to be mindful of there. Everything else looking good. Partly cloudy conditions as we move through the rest of your Tuesday. A little more humid today, a high around 78 degrees. Could see a couple of showers and storms develop tonight, a low down to 65. Tomorrow, slight chance for maybe some rain, otherwise partly cloudy, warmer, a high of 83. And then on Thursday, plenty of sunshine with highs in the upper 70s. Right now, 69 degrees in Madison. We're sitting at 71 in Kenosha, and it's 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bride.
And good morning. It's Tuesday. What's the date today? Is it
the 25th?
25th.
We are almost through August. Hard to believe.
I'm not sure I'm happy about that, but there's nothing I can do about it, actually. So
there is nothing. You cannot stop time as much as you would like. You cannot stop time.
And as I'm looking at our roster of this is an interesting show because we're sort of doing some different things. We're staying out of the fray of pure politics and sort of getting to some of the other tangential things that maybe politics impacts, that people are talking about. I'm a big fan, because we do talk radio, of finding topics that are on people's minds. And as we talk about back to school, parenting, kids, what kids do when they're idle.
The loneliness epidemic of teenagers.
Yeah. Or if you listen to Scott Galloway, why we shouldn't not come down on young boys for being overly amorous, because it's sort of suppressing, whatever. But that's a whole different topic.
Are the kids all right?
Are the kids all right? Yeah. And so you had an interesting topic, and it goes to a lot of the things that we talk about, because I think all of us agree, whether you're parents or not, that we want young people to thrive, to be smarter, to be better, to become eventually better adults, but sometimes we get in the way of that.
Well, we talked about this briefly in response to the fight that happened at State Fair.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was my me talking into my phone that this popped up for me, or how it came across it. But we're not the only ones who were talking about it. Recently, CNN posted a video talking about the same thing, as far as it's not just a Milwaukee thing of third space, more and more third spaces being limited to teens, and that like spaces are trying to specifically have teens not access these public spaces anymore. So let's play that really quickly.
There are new efforts to force young people out of public spaces. Fear around so-called teen takeovers, some of which have turned dangerous, has led to stricter curfews and increased police presence, all meant to discourage kids from gathering in public. Music festival guests are complaining that there are too many young people at these events. We're even designing buildings differently, removing seats and spacing out benches so there are fewer opportunities for teen tomfoolery. Some of these big teen events have spurred legal activity, but for many of these kids, it's one of the only venues where they can hang out with people their age. No teens allowed. Kids need the physical space to figure out who they are and where they belong in society. And a lot of these new restrictions don't give kids any alternatives. If they can't hang out at the movie theater and the bowling alley and the skate park, where else can they go?
So that's my question as far as, is it that they need their own space and that there is a public duty to create spaces that adolescents can thrive in? Or is it that some of adults just need to understand that teens are allowed space too? Because I think this is the same thing sometimes in America with kids, right? Little kids. There's a lot of anti-kid rhetoric of not wanting children at restaurants, not wanting children on planes. And ultimately, we all live in a society together. And if they're not breaking the rules, is it not, why are so many businesses allowed to just ban kids from hanging out?
So other than the mall example, can you give me some specifics? And I heard the movie theater, but young adults can go to movies without
I think
parents.
there's certain places that are starting to say if you're under 18 and you're not with an adult, you can't just come in groups of kids anymore.
Yeah.
But those were all the places. So at least for me, bowling alley, Perkins, movie theaters, malls, certainly parks to a certain extent. Where else would we hang out? Those were the low hanging fruit. But I was thinking about this. Did I tell the story when the Culvers up on Capitol near Shorewood? That's where a bunch of middle schoolers hang out after school. And so at some point, and I was there one day when the manager was not very happy with the group of young boys that were in there because I guess they were, I don't know, playing with the water in the bathroom, and she gave them a tongue lashing. But if the next step is she kicks them out entirely, so then what? They're all just relegated to having to be able to fit in someone's home, and then parents have to be able to open their homes for the kids to hang out. But that's also not a space for them to gain independence, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we were talking about this yesterday or the day before.
I think it was last week.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have malls. That's how old I am. They were just being built.
So you didn't have any third spaces where you guys hung out?
A park, open fields. Anywhere you could get away.
There wasn't a restaurant you guys went to or a cafe. So I'm thinking of, were you the same age as the kids in that 70s show? Is that prime your era?
Yeah.
So they even had, they had Kelso's basement, not Kelso's basement.
We did a lot of basement hanging.
So there was the basement that was the main hang, but there was still a different restaurant hangout spot. Granted, it's a TV show, but I was thinking about this. Almost every coming of age TV show has that spot, right? The Saved by the Bell had the Max. The 90210 had the Peach Pit. Clueless had the mall.
Yeah.
Aladdin's, if you think of Stranger Things, they had Aladdin's Castle. They had the arcade.
That's a generation behind me.
No, I know, but
yeah. So we just hung out in basements.
So you don't think this is an issue?
No, I do think it's an issue because we have to figure out the young person problem in this country, and there's a lot of ways you can go with this. But I also understand that businesses have a right to control the environment that they conduct their business in. So behavior is a part of this. And just because, for example, use the water thing, get the hell out of the bathroom. What are you doing? Get out of there. And I would scold them if I was a business owner.
Oh, they were scolded.
Yeah, which is, I think is appropriate. And again, parents, some of this is on you. Teach your kids to be responsible in public. The reason we have these barriers now to this third space issue is because of bad actors, bad behaviors. What do they call it? Teen takeovers.
Teen takeovers, yeah.
Yeah. So there's responsibility across the board. And I think if you look at a mall or a movie theater, there is a code of conduct. So act appropriately.
But is it to a certain extent prejudice? Because there's adults who behave badly in public.
Trust me, I was the one that bitched about Summerfest when all the adults were making noise when I'm trying to listen to the Christopher Cross concert. Shut the hell up. And they were drunk and they were making noise. So it's not just kids.
I know, but you can't just ban all adults from
coming
to things.
I would have banned them right out of there.
But yeah, the specific actors, not a general
that's
stereotype of a group of people.
That's the answer. Ring the bell. If you're doing this over and over again, you cannot come here. Now that requires...
So we agree. It's the individual kids. You shouldn't just ban teenagers.
No, I'm not a fan of banning. Come on. Probably 90% of kids are awesome.
Yeah.
So... But society...
They may be a little annoying.
As
awesome.
you know, society runs on the 10% that aren't awesome. Everything we talk about is because the 10% that aren't awesome in all different ways, whatever you're talking about. That controls everything. What you do at that 10% is the issue. And I think
that's why we have flock cameras.
Well, hopefully that's part of the answer, used appropriately. All right, what do you think? Are we too hard on teens? Do you favor the banning process? I see texts are coming in already. Arnold's Burger Joint from Happy Days. That was a 70s example.
See? Exactly.
I'm trying. We had a
Third Spaces.
Do you know what Tasty Freeze is?
That sounds familiar. What was that from?
That was in Oak Creek.
So there you go. You had a hangout.
I didn't hang out there.
You didn't have the drive-through?
No, we didn't.
No girls on roller skates?
I'm old enough to remember when these places didn't have drive-thrus. Right. You just went in when you could buy a hamburger, fries, and a soda for $1.07.
I'm going to ask Kathy. I feel like there was probably hangouts.
Well, she's a woman. She might have a completely different answer.
Okay.
All right. What do you think? 855-616-1620. Break. Point taken.
You already know that Kessler's is the world's largest employee-owned group of jewelry stores.
We were recently told that Kessler's is the fastest growing group of jewelry stores in America.
Well, it just goes to show you.
Show you what?
That people like to feel good.
What do you mean?
Rick, you know how many people will drop by and look in the showcases and have some coffee and chat with their sales associates?
Yes.
That doesn't happen at other stores.
Really?
People come to Kessler's because it brightens their day.
It makes them feel good.
It certainly makes me feel good.
Tell me why.
Well, everyone's always in a good mood. And everything is clean and sparkling and romantic and happy.
It feels like sunshine and rainbows, doesn't it?
Sarah, that's exactly what it feels like.
When you're having a gray day, come to Kessler's.
Have some coffee and let us clean your jewelry.
Our jewelry cleaning equipment is completely different than what you have at home.
And we're delighted to do it for free, of course.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Vince Vitrano here. That feeling after an incredible performance, applause, emotion. You look around and realize everyone just experienced something unforgettable together. UPAF makes those moments possible, supporting local performing arts organizations and arts education programs throughout our community. The arts don't just entertain us, they connect us. Join me in supporting UPAF's annual campaign. New or increased gifts of $1,200 or more matched by Northwestern Mutual. Donate today at upaf.org.
There are still malls. I mean, I don't know what the rules are now, and I think you have to, if you're under 18, you have to be attended by with a chaperone by an adult.
It depends. I think Bayshore, after
During
the fight
evening,
that happened,
right?
I don't think kids can go solo to Bayshore anymore. It obviously depends on the place, but there's more and more places where you can't go unaccompanied.
Yeah, and Bob from Greenfield reflects my upbringing. So I grew up in Cudahy, and it's on the lake. We hung out at Grant Park, South Shore Park, all the parks, and that was our playground. So we could this is an amazing thing, and maybe you'll think it's amazing, maybe you won't. We used to camp out overnight in a public park with a camp.
You were allowed to?
Parents said, "No, knock yourself out." We're like 12, maybe 11.
That's great. Now
Yeah.
you'd probably get
Arrested.
They'd think you'd be homeless or something.
Yeah,
They'd,
yeah.
displace you.
Steve, we had Southgate. We did have Southgate, which was a movie theater. I think there's a couple restaurants that was on South 27th Street, hanging out at the beaches. We had things called beachers. Somebody would haul in a half barrel or a quarter barrel, roll it down the hill, and then we'd tap that sucker.
Did you guys have like fires on the beach or anything
Oh,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. So, but that's a
Keggers in a
park.
field somewhere?
That's a park.
Because you were the age you could drink when you were 18?
Yeah, well, that meant 16.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes earlier than that.
Don't get me wrong. It was the age. My entire life, it's been 21, and that did not stop us in high school.
The third space argument, and I'm not in favor of banning, and I think we're both on the same page on that. There is this question, we have more kids with idle time, and I did look it up because I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about because I mentioned this yesterday. Compared to my era, when half the kids worked a job in and around their education, it's like a quarter. It's like 25% now.
So this is what's interesting about that, because as soon as you mentioned that the other day as well, and someone was like, getting a job doesn't get you into college. right? And so the pressures of college-bound kids to be competitive and have resumes, so the amount of sports and extracurriculars and volunteering. And so it's interesting. I don't know if what you found as far as the stats on how many young people have a job right now. And for those who don't, what are they doing? Like, because the question there is like, how many of them are just idle? Like, how many of them are doing nothing to fill that time?
25% is I think it's 14 to 18 or whatever, have jobs.
Have jobs.
Yeah.
Because I agree. Like, I don't think a job is a third space. I think a job, depending on what it was. Like, I remember for us, a lot of the kids between Quiznos and Bagels Forever, like a bunch of kids in high school had jobs at one of those two places. And because so many of your friends worked at the same place, it kind of does become a third space. Because there's responsibility built into it. You're obviously making some money, but at least you get to work with your friends versus in isolation or just be, hate your boss or whatever.
I'm a work advocate because I think it builds your social skills. And you learn cooperation, you learn obviously communication, conflict resolution, you learn the hierarchy of work, who's your boss, following, or all those things matter. If you don't have that, you basically have your parents or your teachers. And as much as I love both groups, they're not perfect. This one, we should emphasize the positive. Planet Fitness encourages our use by allowing free membership for students 14 to 19 years of age during the summer.
Oh, that's a great thing to know. I have no idea.
Yeah, so thanks to John for saying
that. So
that
was my next question, as far as, because I don't know what the business model is to build a place meant for teenagers. Because if you think about spaces, so we think about coffee shops, we think about bars, obviously that's not going to be for teenagers. And the things that they sell, like, can you have the right margins on a coffee shop that's just kind of made for kids to stay in business? And I understand that, like, who wants to go into that business necessarily, but that's what I mean as far as, like, more targeted places that they feel comfortable versus, I don't know. Maybe the insurance would be too high.
Isn't the coffee shop the example of what a modern version of one of those other places you were talking about before?
But now I feel like coffee shops have become places where people just work. So having a group of teens hanging out isn't necessary. It's going to disrupt too many people.
I guess. Yeah.
Is there a business model that exists that could fix this?
And what would that be?
Roller skating rinks. Even that. There was.
But the one I know of is not even in operation
I know. That's
anymore.
what I mean. It just popped in my head as another place that, like, that was more middle school than high school, if I'm being honest.
Class of 76, which is what I am. Pizza Hut, Lutheran Church, Teen Center, basements, beaches, public pool. Yeah, I had all those things.
Public pools.
Yeah.
That's what, I only recently learned that Gordon Park used to have a pool up until like 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that. I don't miss it because I never was here when they had it, but that's my neighborhood. Like, how amazing would it be to have a neighborhood pool?
I grew up with a neighbor, Sheridan Pool in Cudahy on Lake Drive, and that's where I learned how to swim.
What happened to it now? It's gone?
It's still there.
It is still there. Is it popular?
I don't know.
Do they let teens in?
Yes, of course. Yeah. This is a disgusting thing that'll just blow you away. There was a job at the pool where people came in to go into the pool area, and one person's job, usually a teenager, was to check their toes for athlete's feet. That was a real job.
For some reason, I thought feces was going to be involved.
No feces. Imagine that job. You get hired by the Milwaukee County Parks. Your job is to look at people's feet. Yes, sign me up for that job for $1.25 an hour.
Was it a teenager who needed a job?
Yes. God, that's disgusting. And thankfully, that doesn't happen anymore. Quick break.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Have you been dealing with nagging low back pain, sciatica, numbness, tingling? At Jens Family Chiropractic, they offer non-surgical spinal decompression. I'm getting that done right now on my neck. It's a gentle, targeted therapy designed to reduce pressure on irritated discs and nerves to help your spine recover. I feel so much better. Spinal decompression may be the best option for people struggling with disc problems or chronic neck and low back pain, especially when the same old treatments have not provided the relief that you're looking for. There are no injections, no surgery, and treatments are customized to you. Stop letting back pain dictate what you can and cannot do. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com to schedule your consultation. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com to find out if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you, as it has been for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com.
One great day of golf can change lives. On Monday, August 31st, point taken, hey, that's us, we'll broadcast live from Oakwood Park Golf Course in Franklin for the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County's Swing for the Kettle Golf Invitational. Your participation directly supports food, shelter, and life-changing programs for children and families throughout our community. Find out how you can support our community today by visiting samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here, and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritware is vital. That's why Burkhart Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritware from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritware and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhart.
You can't beat Burkhart. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Old-Fashioned Roofing and Trees on the Move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Oh, the kids are all right. We just got to figure out some of these issues, and we got to make sure that we're guaranteeing that everybody gets what they need. Businesses can be protected. The kids can have a place to hang out. They can do it properly, that there's parenting involved. All those things matter. It's a complex, again, these are hard things. You got to sort this stuff out.
But we can do hard things.
We can. It just takes a little bit of deliberation and not being overreactive to, to ban things because, somebody is a bad actor.
You know what I
That's
love
the
about
problem.
doing live radio is you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
And listening right now is our friend John Dietrich, investigative reporter over at Journal-Sentinel.
Just had him on the show.
Who literally texted in during the break that said, "Hey team, I was a foot checker."
That's disgusting. John.
But this is the part. He said, "I didn't actually look at anyone's feet and I never stopped anyone."
Yeah, that also does not surprise me.
But he said he got a great tan.
Yeah. Here's another one from the 414. I was a county lifeguard at Sheridan Parkway Pools in Cudahy in the late 80s. I forgot about the foot checker. That was a thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just it was a different era, and
It's a different era, because that was someone else texted in as far as the rules and laws now as far as letting your 8, 9, 10-year-old go places on their own. I remember I would ride my bike as young as 8 to Malot's, which was a pharmacy.
Yeah, that's what you did.
A mile from our house. Go in, have like a buck and some change, bought candy, rode my bike home. And everyone knew my mom was Debbie, but they didn't care that Debbie wasn't with me.
We have so much parental supervision now, parents, helicopter, but yet I don't know if that's helping anything. Is that making any of those kids better? Because I guess that would be the goal of being that kind of a parent. But is it making your kid better communicator?
I'm going to look that up. How old can children be by themselves in Wisconsin?
Yeah, interesting question. All right, so we're going to shift gears in the next half hour. Interesting comments from a mayor in our area, which are unsettling, to say the least. We got local news update. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Canada just announcing tariffs up to 50% on hundreds of American products, answering President Trump's trade threats.
We will meet the moment together. And as the Prime Minister has said, we will support our workers, our businesses, and our industry with whatever it takes for as long as it takes.
Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne announcing a doubling of tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum. An expert witness telling jurors this morning Lindsay Clancy likely retained an awareness of the illegality of killing her 3 children and is criminally responsible. The forensic psychologist telling jurors that he believes Clancy didn't experience postpartum psychosis. Deliberations could start tomorrow. 2 Colorado state troopers took gunfire from an unknown assailant driving a blue Subaru with obscured plates down Highway 24. We don't have the trooper's condition. One was shot in the neck. A manhunt is on. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. The man accused of killing 3 people in a murder spree across Milwaukee pleads not guilty. 36-year-old Thomas Zollicoffer facing 7 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide in the deaths of his ex-girlfriend, 26-year-old Vanessa de Herrera, and 29-year-old Scott Buckholz during a domestic dispute. He's also accused of shooting and killing 38-year-old Shamarla Hare after Hare refused to allow him to remain in her home after the first 2 deaths. Zollicoffer is due back in court this Friday. He faces life in prison if convicted on all charges. Tribal leaders are looking to renew the push for medical marijuana in Wisconsin. That was one of the topics before the legislature's State Tribal Relations Committee. Michael Decora is with the St. Croix Chippewa.
I can tell you not all the tribes are in support of recreational at this time, but we are in support of medical.
Wisconsin, just one of 9 states without a medical cannabis program. No legislation was formally introduced during the committee. And a plan to bring more imported beef into the U.S. in hopes of lowering grocery prices is drawing some criticism from farmers across the Badger State. Wisconsin Farmers Union President Darren Von Ruden says the move could put more pressure on American cattle producers without addressing why consumers are paying so much at the store. He points to the concentration of the meatpacking industry, with 4 companies controlling more than 80% of U.S. beef processing, the union calling for greater competition and price transparency. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow was up 35 points at 53,452. The NASDAQ sitting at 26,119. That's up 139. And the S&P 500 is up about 16 points at 7,670. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic still dealing with a bit of an issue 94 eastbound right out of the Stadium Interchange. We did have a crash right near 35th Street in that area, so kind of tapping the brakes. Looks like they've got that clear and things are starting to move a little bit more freely through that stretch, so that's a good sign. And then looking across the rest of the system, everything else moving along nicely. As for your forecast, partly cloudy, a little more humid today, a high getting up around 78 degrees. Could see a shower or storm pop up in the area tonight, a low down to 65. Slight chance for maybe some rain as we go into Wednesday, otherwise partly cloudy, warmer with a high of 83. Plenty of sunshine then on Thursday with highs in the upper 70s. Right now, it is 72 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 71 in Waukesha and at 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Bring us your problems, deadlines, complexities, anxieties, distractions, and budget distresses.
Plum Media is listening.
Share with us your creative block.
Plum Media is ready.
Give us your audience with limited time and attention.
Plum Media sets your message free.
Let's get your message heard. Let's strive for retention from beginning to completion. Whether your next event is for celebration, education, motivation, inspiration, Plum Media is waiting to take action.
Professional collaborators, planners, managers. Plum Media, video production and event management.
Plum Media, wow moments, flawless execution, clarity, calm, control.
And results.
Plum Media, a video, meetings, and event producer with global experience. PlumMedia.com.
How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit Erickson'sLandscapeSupply.com to see our entire selection. You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit Erickson'sLandscapeSupply.com to see our entire selection.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this Tuesday. Christian C. Point Taken. If you miss any or all of our shows, you can always find our podcast, the number one podcast at WTMJ, by the way, at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcast. Just search Point Taken. And we've got some good stuff. A lot of great interviews over there. A lot of great topics. We're really focusing, I think, hyper-focusing on some of the great talkers that you and I, we always use that term, and a lot of people use that term, actually. But there are things that are on people's minds, and I would demonstrate, it is demonstrated that on the text line, that first half hour, we generally got a lot of commentary on that from the texters, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Like approaching 100 texts on it?
Yeah, and looks like the hangout place du jour was the local eateries, the little fast food places. Whatever they were, Big Boy Restaurant got a mention, and some of the other ones. I mentioned Tasty Freeze in Oak Creek, and certainly McDonald's. Back in the day, that was all there was. Maybe KFC
Yeah, we
was
had
second.
Michael's Custard,
Yeah.
R.I.P. in Madison.
Leon's Custard.
That was more of a summer hangout because they didn't have much
Yeah.
indoor space.
This is a serious topic, so, we're going to shift from that topic to this. As a former mayor, I find this offensive. New Berlin's mayor, 4 terms.
Do you know him?
I think I met him once. I don't know him personally at all. Mayor Dave Aments. He made some very, very hate-filled comments on his personal Facebook page, which was public, and as of last Friday night is now private. But as we all know, when you put it out there, it's out there. It doesn't matter what you're going to do because it's already out there. People see it, and they react to it.
So the post included several anti-Muslim videos, and they were shared publicly. And some of them date back months, and then some were shared as recently as like 2 weeks. And as far as what the screenshots that have been shared and the coverage of this, they look like the same AI woman. So it's like a young, attractive woman, and then with text over the video saying some anti-Muslim rhetoric.
Yeah.
That and so it's not so much him sitting down and writing versus him sharing things.
Exactly.
And so, first of all, the fact that there's been things up there for months and this is only now getting attention. It was like, who was seeing this, if anyone, that wasn't like, hey man, this is public, right? Like, and that's just crazy to me in the first place that it took this long for people to actually start noticing that he was sharing stuff like this.
Anyone who posts things like this, you're demonizing an entire faith group based on the conduct of a small slice of that faith group, and there's none of the faith groups are immune because if you study history, you know that they've all done it over the centuries and millennium. It is something that I would ask any elected official. And apparently, he said when asked about that this was informational.
This is directly quoted from the Journal Sentinel. So when a Channel 58 reporter spoke to him at his office on August 23rd, he said, quote, "It's just for informational. It's stuff that I get," end quote. The reporter asked what was informational about the posts, and he replied, quote, "Well, so people hear whatever side of the story. There's other ones that are the other way as well." Can he speak proper English?
I don't
like
know.
those answers there did not feel like full, complete thoughts or sentences.
Yeah, I think he was either caught off guard or he's very, very agitated.
And it's all like maybe he doesn't know how social media works as far as him thinking these are informational videos versus clickbait AI slop.
I was reading a story on Channel 12 about this same issue. And one of the people they interviewed said this, and I mean, this is a direct quote. Yeah, he has a lot of Muslim constituents in New Berlin. This really hurt them and caused fear. As a mayor, I've expressed my regrets of not understanding when they lived in my community when we had a mass shooting. And you have to understand when you are elected, this is the problem with modern politicians. you don't just represent the people who voted for you. You represented everybody. People of different faiths. I think at the time I was mayor, we had 26 different faith places in our city. You don't say things like that. How do you think those people feel? They worship in your city. They live in your city. Your job is to represent everybody, and we've got to get away from this idea that you're just going to put stuff out there, because this sharing thing has to stop. Especially hate stuff like this. If we want a more responsible social media environment, it starts with people who are in positions of prominence, influencers. Be more responsible. Stop putting out garbage. Stop sharing garbage. This is inexcusable. Now, ultimately, removing a mayor or any elected representative generally is very hard to do and would involve a recall. Whether this will rise to that occasion, that's up to New Berlin.
Well, the fact that he's been elected 4 times.
4 times. Yeah.
And if you live in New Berlin and you know the mayor, I would love to hear from you, because it's not like he's new.
No, he's been around for a while.
I don't know if this is new rhetoric for him, if this is something he's been exposed to over time, where all of a sudden he is feeling more like this than he has in the past, that he is sharing it. But you asked the question as far as should there be something as far as like immediate removal for public officials when they express any sort of prejudice towards an entire group, some of whom are their constituents. I mean, you know where I'm going to fall on this. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, generally it's resignation, which is the choice made by the elected official, or recall because of the way that we elect these people. But ultimately, I think the city council, and I could be wrong on this, and maybe tonight's Tuesday. And
the Common Council can't impeach him?
No, but they can censure him. They can condemn the comments, because at least one alderman said this is inexcusable. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing. So that's the way these comments should be responded to. But if you're a leader in a community, you never say these things. I don't care where you're posting it.
But then, so I guess the most recent example I was trying to think was Waukesha County board member who had some terrible things to say, but that was specific about Anthony Fauci versus about an entire group of people. So I don't know if that is a different scenario. But just in general, if you're an elected official, just shut your personal Facebook down.
I just don't get it. I mean,
nothing good can come from it.
Is it because they're naive about what social media is?
It might be, because he's older.
Yeah, he looks like he's my age probably, in that general area. I don't get it. And you have to understand there's consequences to this stuff. And whether that's removal or resignation, I guess the people in New Berlin will decide that. New Berlin's not a small community. It's a pretty big
30
city.
Or 40,000 people?
It's a lot of people. And if you lived in this area for any amount of time, southeastern Wisconsin, there are many members of the Muslim community that live, work, own businesses. I'm guessing probably in New Berlin as well. Do not do this. Do not say these things. And if you believe it, I have to question your ability to be a leader, an effective leader, because everything you say going forward is tainted by what you put on a Facebook page, whether you're sharing it, whether you're creating it yourself. I just don't get it. You have to be smarter than that. And you have to finally catch up to everybody else that understands the power of diversity and why it's important in a country like that we live in. So important, probably more so than ever. And stop demonizing people because of their faith. My God, what is this, like 1960? It's 2020. I almost said 2016. 2026. Be better. Break.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the Rock Solid Pre-Approval Guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So Accunet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified Rock Solid Pre-Approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with Accunet's new $10,000 Rock Solid Seller Guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Labor Day and the American labor movement were built on 3 fundamental principles: fair wages, reasonable hours, and big savings on Beauty Rest at Hasseless Mattress. Or something like that. Now through Labor Day, Hassellus will give you a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Beautyrest mattress, including Beautyrest World Class and the ultra luxury Beautyrest Black. If your current mattress has been laboring under you for the past decade, it deserves a much needed retirement. Visit a Hassellus employee-free showroom and test your favorite mattress without commission-crazed salespeople hovering over you. Employee-free means way low prices. Others sell the Queen Beautyrest Premium World Class Thatcher KA mattress for $2,450, but Hassellus has it for just $1,788, plus a free adjustable base, plus an additional $200 off, plus free next day delivery, plus a $100 rewards cash card. Now through Labor Day at Hassellus Mattress. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
The family-owned Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third-shift cleaners. You'll make real money in a fun, busy atmosphere. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week. Visit MineShaftRestaurant.com.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Hate-filled comments on Facebook by the mayor of New Berlin, Dave Amens, and I assume that's how you say his last name. I don't really know him personally. Let's go to the caller, because we have a caller from New Berlin. Rizwan joins us on Point Taken. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning.
So, do you live in New Berlin?
I've lived here since my parents moved here when I was 16 years old. I'm almost 50 now, and I've lived here ever since.
Oh, wow.
And I've interacted many times with the mayor, even before he was mayor. I used to own a small business in the New Berlin Industrial Park, and he had a business a couple blocks away, and we interacted many times very pleasurably and cordially on multiple occasions when we were neighbor business owners.
So does this surprise you? What these Facebook posts have been?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Every interaction before this I've had with Mayor Ament has been very pleasant and cordial, and even after he became mayor, he was reaching out to business owners in the area and came by all the businesses in the industrial park, and I even met with him on a neighbor issue I had, and very pleasant to deal with. So this was a very big shock.
Do you buy what he used when he used the term informational sharing of what I would call hate-filled messaging?
No, I don't. It's everybody can see through. It's just misinformation that's being spread by AI, and that I don't buy that. So.
Do you feel compelled at all to reach out to him and try to have a conversation?
Yes, I have left him a message, sent him an email. I have tried that approach already, and I'm still waiting to hear a response back.
What do you think?
Because, like I said, we were neighbor business owners.
Yeah. What do you think the consequences of this should be?
I think it's going to come out in the next election or in the next polls or the next time there's an election. And on that line, I've been somebody who's voted for. It's been said he was reelected 4 times. I voted for him 4 times.
Wow.
In the previous one, and I don't know if that, or I don't see that happening anymore. So,
do you think this feeling that he expressed in his what was then a public Facebook page, now private, is a common feeling in your community?
No. At one point, I served as the spokesperson for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, a community that I belong to.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a business owner, I had lots of public interaction, and people would recognize me from some of my media appearances and actually from the community call and say, and give out very good supporting and kind of complimentary messages based upon some of the interaction that I had with as a previous role that I served in the Muslim community with.
I'm sure you'll agree with this, but it is amazing, like when you get to know someone when they don't look like you or pray like you, that you find you have a lot more common ground than you might expect.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if I think actions speak louder than words, and the actions of some of the community involvement of many people, but most of the Muslim community around, it speaks louder than some of the hate-filled rhetoric that's out there. And the community I belong to, we do blood drives. We do a lot of other charity events and community events just to help the community at large. And those are really good ways of building bridges. So
I was going to say, Rizwan, for last question before I let you go, do you feel like regardless of what happens with the mayor, if he resigns, if he gets censured, do you feel like this is maybe an opportunity for more dialogue within the community as far as people who might have assumptions or stereotypes and kind of opening more dialogue?
Oh, definitely. Like I had mentioned, I'm a member of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community here in the Milwaukee area, and we've always had dialogue. And in the past, when we've had issues like this, and I've spoken, it's always been that instead of jumping to conclusions, our door is open. We're always open for dialogue and conversation.
Yeah, I love it. And Rizwan, thanks for calling, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wanted somebody from New Berlin who's living that life, and I appreciate your perspective. Thanks for calling. Point taken.
Thank you.
All right, good information.
And his neighbor is also listening. Rizwan's one of my neighbors.
A great guy. Yeah,
terrific neighbor.
No surprise there. Again, communication, understanding that most people are exactly like, regardless of their appearance or all their characteristics, they're exactly the same as you.
I have some final thoughts on this when we come back.
Yeah.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
My name is Amanda Klutz, and I'm a widow. You enter a different reality when you lose your husband, especially as a parent. Life insurance doesn't fix it, but it helps. With Ethos, you can get covered in minutes. No medical exams, up to $3 million in coverage, and it's all online.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Do you suffer from moderate to severe slumpiness?
Slumpiness? I've never heard that expression.
I know. I made it up.
What does that mean?
You know, when someone's hungry and angry?
Yeah, we say they're hangry.
Well, I've coined the term slumpy for someone who's grumpy from a bad night of sleep.
Clever.
But Penny Mustard has discovered the cure for severe slumpiness.
Let me guess. A nightly dose of a double-sided hybrid mattress.
It's just what the doctor ordered.
Penny Mustard's exclusive line of hybrid mattresses is made in Wisconsin and combines a steel coil spring center and specialty foam. Our mattresses have been proven to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Ask your doctor about Penny Mustard. They probably bought their mattress here too, or at least I hope they did, because who wants a slumpy doctor?
Come see our selection of sophisticrafted, double-sided hybrid mattresses at Penny Mustard. Find a showroom near you at pennymustard.com.
Flippable versions of what slumpy people want.
Notifications, texts, emails, information coming at you all day, every day. With so much noise, knowing what deserves your attention can feel overwhelming. So it's no surprise that many Americans feel less confident about their retirement finances and stressed about their investments. Turn down the noise. Turn up the planning. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side for trusted investment and retirement guidance, including tax and estate planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors of Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything and recreation. This week, ATV and UTV ridership is way up in Wisconsin, but safety is a concern. We'll talk to some subject matter experts on that and more as we celebrate all things recreation and outdoors in Wisconsin.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma sports station.
Just some final thoughts on this Mayor Ament situation in New Berlin, especially talking to Rizwan, who's said he knows the mayor, he's voted for him 4 times. And I think it's just, I have no idea. I don't know this man. I have no idea what it's like to be in his brain. But to me, this kind of reads as what happens when any of us spend too much time online. Like, we so often talk about it as, young men in the manosphere and what they're seeing. But that's not unlike what we see some people when they only watch Fox News all day, or you spend too much time in any kind of detached reality that is online that is very good at othering and not having understanding the real life ramifications, or even making the connection like, oh yeah, Muslim bad, but I like Rizwan, like in my real life over here, right? Cool. Like, it seems like there's almost this detachment from what he was seeing in front of his screen versus the relationships he has as mayor in real life. Yeah, and I think it just speaks to how any of us are susceptible to that, no matter our age, when it comes to spending too much time online and not realizing how that can make us dislike other groups for no reason.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about the online presence with Kate Duffy, who's going to join us in the last half hour.
That's more about kids. Yeah. Also, her role as a online influencer.
Yeah.
One of those left-wing online influencers.
We'll have to have that conversation. Maybe during the breaks. We'll see how that goes. All right. News is next. 620 WTMJ.
Bring us your problems, deadlines, complexities, anxieties, distractions, and budget distresses.
Plum Media is listening.
Share with us your creative block.
Plum Media is ready.
Give us your audience with limited time and attention.
Plum Media sets your message free.
Let's get your message heard. Let's strive for attention, retention from beginning to completion. Whether your next event is for celebration, education, motivation, inspiration, Plum Media is waiting to take action.
Professional collaborators, planners, managers. Plum Media, video production and event management.
Plum Media, wow moments, flawless execution, clarity, calm, control.
And results.
Plum Media, a video, meetings, and event producer with global experience. PlumMedia.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. We are on a mission to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. Try saying that 5 times fast. Do you lose sleep at night trying to figure out how to make the next payroll? Are your vendors lined up outside your door? Are you cash on delivery? We can help. We have a proven process and strategy to turn your cash-sucking business into a cash-generating machine, so you can keep that cash in your pocket. It really works. We use it in our business, and many clients are successfully using it in their business. Ask Pam, who recently bought a business and asked us to help her see through the fog. Would you like to sleep at night knowing your bills are paid, take a vacation, or go out to eat with your spouse? You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us at 414-325-2040 to set up a complimentary consultation. That's 414-325-2040, or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net.
See Europe from a completely new perspective with Fox World Travel and Avalon Waterways. Cruising down legendary rivers like the Danube or the Rhine, your luxury boutique hotel travels with you. Relax in award-winning panorama suites featuring wall-to-wall windows, enjoy premium local wine and dining, and step off directly into the heart of historic castles and villages. Your next incredible river cruise awaits. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
Trees on the Move, offering ideas for outdoor living and beautifying with landscape consultation, design, and installation, including retaining walls, paved patios, tree trimming, and more. Trees on the Move's been offering landscape services for over 47 years and now offers stamped and colored concrete drives, patios, and sidewalks. Beautify your yard this year with Trees on the Move. TreesOnTheMove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it's 74 degrees, partly cloudy conditions, a high today getting up around 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. Bond has been set at $150,000 for the man accused of killing two people inside a recording studio on Milwaukee's North Side.
Calvin Harris faces 2 counts of first-degree reckless homicide after Quentin Williams and DeQuayshawn Evans were found shot to death last week. A criminal complaint says Harris called 911 and admitted to firing the fatal shots. He told investigators that Evans had taken his gun during an argument, prompting him to grab another gun and open fire. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Harris is due back in court next week. A special prosecutor says Elon Musk will not face charges stemming from last year's Wisconsin Supreme Court election.
La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Greinke reviewed the case after the Wisconsin Elections Commission referred it for possible violations of state election law. Musk initially posted that people who had voted in the election could attend his Green Bay event, where he planned to give 2 $1 million checks to people in appreciation for voting. About 12 hours later, Musk clarified the money was for 2 spokespeople selected for a petition opposing activist judges. Greinke says the original post could have been interpreted as an illegal incentive to vote, but no one was paid for voting or promising to vote. He says he doesn't believe a jury would convict Musk. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A record number of high school graduates enrolled in college last year, but that trend could start to reverse. Experts say the number of college-age students could drop as much as 13% by 2041. MMAC senior advisor Tim Sheehy tells Wisconsin's Midday News one reason behind that prediction.
Schools that are viewed as top-notch are seeing their applications go up and their admittance rate go down. Ivy League schools admitting in the past about 25% of applicants has dropped to 5%. Top public universities, admittance rates have gone from 50 to 20%.
Sheehy says another factor, students who decide that taking on debt is not worth the career benefit. The high-profile murder trial of Lindsay Clancy now into its 20th day, jurors preparing to hear closing argument as soon as tomorrow.
Prosecutors plan to rest their rebuttal case today after calling 2 final expert witnesses to cast doubt on the claim that the Massachusetts mother was in the throes of psychosis when she killed her 3 children. The testimony comes one day after Clancy's attorney moved for a mistrial due to testimony from a prosecution expert about Clancy's religion and how it might have influenced her decision to kill her children. The judge denied the request but sternly instructed the jurors to ignore any testimony about Clancy's faith. Jurors could begin deliberations as early as tomorrow. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
With football season gearing up, some new research on pro football players and brain injuries.
This analysis of more than 300 NFL players who donated their brains to science finds 93.2% had evidence of CTE. The British Medical Journal study extrapolates that to probably 1 in 4 of all former NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021. Among brain donors, 90.4% of those with the most severe CTE had dementia. Often that wasn't captured on death certificates, suggesting the problem is way worse than thought. Asked for comment by ESPN, the NFL said it's continuously working on strategies to reduce concussions and head impacts. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 121 points at 53,538. The NASDAQ up 162 at 26,142. And the S&P 500 at 7,676. That's up 23. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources. Help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need. They help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Have you been dealing with nagging low back pain? sciatica, numbness, tingling. At Jens Family Chiropractic, they offer non-surgical spinal decompression. I'm getting that done right now on my neck. It's a gentle, targeted therapy designed to reduce pressure on irritated discs and nerves to help your spine recover. I feel so much better. Spinal decompression may be the best option for people struggling with disc problems or chronic neck and low back pain, especially when the same old treatments have not provided the relief that you're looking for. There are no injections, no surgery, and treatments are customized to you. Stop letting back pain dictate what you can and cannot do. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com to schedule your consultation. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com to find out if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you, as it has been for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers back in action tonight, beginning a 3-game series on the road against the Mets. Some encouraging news early in the week. Pitcher Brandon Woodruff appears he will avoid season-ending shoulder surgery after a follow-up scan revealed some unexpected healing. So could that mean a return for Woody? Manager Pat Murphy on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Everyone knows what he's capable of when he's healthy, and I think we should be hopeful. I'm not telling you that it's likely. I'm just saying I'm hopeful.
Woodruff has begun a 5-week throwing program to help build up his arm strength. Meanwhile, Kyle Harrison on the mound tonight for the Crew. Game 1 against the Mets. All of our coverage starting at 5:35 here on WTMJ. Packers gearing up for their final preseason game this week and their first preseason game at home as Green Bay will take on the Arizona Cardinals. Two teams will host a joint practice tomorrow morning at Ray Nitschke Field, and then they'll go at it the final preseason matchup Friday night at Lambeau. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Just dealing with a little bit of an issue, not anything major, but typical slowdowns, 94 east and westbound through the stadium interchange in our construction zone. So tapping the brakes a bit there between Hawley and 35th. Otherwise, full speeds everywhere else.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Partly cloudy conditions as we move throughout the rest of your Tuesday. High around 78 degrees. Could maybe see a shower or storm in spots tonight. A low down to 65. Maybe a slight chance for some rain as we head into Wednesday. Otherwise, partly cloudy, warmer with a high of 83. And then on Thursday, plenty of sunshine with highs in the upper 70s. Right now, 73 degrees in Madison. We're sitting at 72 in Kenosha, and it's 74 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
You know, one of the things I love about our show is our interaction with people who are listening. Obviously, we just had a great example of that in the last hour when Rizwan called in. Sometimes we get topics. Actually, we had a texter text in yesterday saying his wife wrote a book that sounds fascinating about maternal mortality. So maybe we're going to get her on. But also, I can't remember who, but someone texted in yesterday with the factoid around the fact that on average now, the share of disposable income that Americans spend on food as of 2024, how much do you think it is? Will you know?
I know. I read the
I'm going
article.
to give a dramatic pause for people at home to guess.
Yeah.
About 10%.
Yeah.
And why is that interesting? Because obviously there's also talk of food is as expensive as it's ever felt, right? Like just up and to the right as far as food costs, grocery costs, some food, and feeling it both in the lead up to 2024 and the cost of eggs and right now the cost of beef and all of this stuff for food. But it was interesting because Vox.com had a really fascinating article about this that I learned a lot. And specifically something called Engel's Law, which is basically the richer you get, the smaller the share of your income goes to food, which is still true today. So while 10% is the average, it's about 32% for the lowest quintile of people in America of what they're spending on food versus just 8.1% for the top quintile. So it's still true that like the richer you get, the less you spend on food. But this is also coupled with the fact of how we make food and how much more efficient we got at making food, we being agriculture in the United States. And so I just thought it was really interesting as far as how that changes in our brain and how things have changed over time, that where we are today as far as how expensive food feels and how much of it's taking up of our paychecks is basically equivalent to what it was in the 90s.
Yeah. And I think it's illustrated the fact that we sometimes let headlines dictate what we think about something, even though that's not a full picture or a full context of the conversation.
Well, and I also think it means other things are getting more expensive. Right?
Yeah,
childcare is getting more expensive.
Housing
is getting more expensive.
Healthcare.
Property taxes are getting more expensive. Like there's all these other things that have also that have outpaced wages and or inflation as far as how much more expensive they are, that is eating into people's salaries, because you then found a fascinating chart.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't even know. Jazz, can we put that chart on the YouTube? I don't know if we can or not. But as far as by generation, so Gen Z, Millennial, Gen X, Boomer, Silent Generation, how they spend their money.
Yeah, and it looks at housing, healthcare, food, transportation, cash contributions, entertainment, personal insurance and pensions, miscellaneous, apparel, personal care products, education. And it breaks it down from the silent generation, which is 1945 or earlier, boomers, Generation X, millennials, Generation Z. And it just sort of makes these comparisons. And it's not an easy graph or graphic to dissect, but it does show you there are some sort of startling differences. And Gen X, for example, spends on food $11,000 by age group, and boomers spend $7,000. That would probably make sense, right? I think you generally eat less when you get older. I would say I do, and my wife does too.
Milwaukee weight loss, baby.
Hello, Milwaukee weight loss. Entertainment is sort of amazingly consistent, except Gen Z has a big drop off. Healthcare from silent 7,000, boomers 9. Generation X goes way up, but that makes sense because they have children, right, that are sucking those dollars. So they go up to 13. Millennials a little lower, 11, and then Gen Z, who don't have a lot of kids yet at all, 7,000. So it's sort of an interesting look at things. Food is one part of a big story when it comes to budget. I also think, and I always jam it in whenever we do a budget conversation, choices people make, lifestyle choices. What home price they come in when they buy homes. Instead of buying a starter home for $250, they build a brand new home for $450 or $500. That's a choice people make. What kind of cars they buy. You can buy a smaller used car for $20,000, $25,000, or you can buy a brand new truck for $85,000. All those choices factor in as well. So that's part of travel. That's the other interesting thing about this conversation. Travel and sort of the fun stuff
isn't on this chart.
Yeah, which is
because I
weird.
know if there was a travel line for boomers, that thing would be up in the air.
Yeah, but not just boomers. Other groups also travel in different ways. So generationally, I guess the message is, for me, we're still spending a lot. Our budgets are still hard to figure out. And then when you're challenged with all the things we're challenged with, which is not just wages are not keeping pace with inflation and haven't. The cost of certain things like housing, like healthcare, like childcare have gone up astronomically in comparison to where your wages are at. And those things matter when it comes to your final score, which is your final budget and how you balance that.
Well, because that's what I was interested in. And this may be not it might not be fair to compare average annual expenditure, depending on where that data is getting pulled in, versus median income per demographic. But I did look up for the median income for a Gen Zer in Wisconsin is around $41,000. And on this chart you put out here, Generation Z, their average annual expenditure is $41,000.
Yes.
So no wonder they feel absolutely broke and like, how do I save for anything for my future? Because the cost of living is exactly basically what most of them are making.
Yeah, one of the biggest factors is student loan debt, which again is a choice. I'll give an example. This is many years ago on radio, 10 years ago, first year. One of the other shows did a story with a young person who was making a decision about college. And they said, well, I had a choice. I could go to UWM or I could go to UCLA. I chose UCLA. even though my family had very little money. Now, we all have aspirations. I would have loved to have gone to Harvard, but I couldn't afford Harvard.
Did you get into Harvard?
No, I didn't apply to Harvard. Okay. Not knowing if I would got in, probably not, or MIT, which
because
would be
it was corrupting young women's minds.
That's not my opinion. But so choices do matter. And if your choice was to go to a university and just spend it all using student loan debt, then you have to face the realities of that choice.
I actually wonder if Gen Z has less student loan debt than millennials. So I feel like we really got saddled with that dream and the unexpected consequences of what that debt was really going to feel like.
Yeah.
And maybe the lack of guidance from some parents on maybe you shouldn't take on that much debt.
Guidance counselors. Yeah, all those things matter. And I chose UWM because it was close. I could commute, have my own place, could take the bus and or carpooled and work.
You have to agree that it's ridiculous that banks or like the idea of giving tens of thousands, if not $100,000 loan to an 18-year-old who would never get approved for that for a business loan.
Yeah.
And that everyone was just like, oh, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
The failing on multiple parts, not just the individual student who took on the debt.
The industry decided to do that.
And then the industry also decided that you can't refinance or apply for bankruptcy because of it.
Which is one of the big principal talking points whenever they say just, absolve student loan debt. Well, why don't you just refinance it? Let them do that. Then that would be an act of government, act of governing, which would actually make sense. But again, it's always one way or the other way. They're both extremes. How about that middle point where you actually just refinance the debt, make it more affordable for young people to actually pay that off? We never, ever do that anymore. It's always got to be the extremes. That's because our candidates are extreme and our elected officials represent those candidates.
Because it's hard to actually fix things?
It is hard to fix things. Doesn't mean we should give up, though. And stop going to the extreme on every damn thing.
All right, where do you want to go?
I don't know. Have we solved this?
I think we've solved it. I do, just to make the final point, I think it's interesting that we are spending less on food than maybe you feel like we do. But I also want to underline, going back to the Engels law, of the fact that the richer you become, the smaller the line item is for food. And that for poor people, it's still 30% of their income. And that they still have to pay for housing, and they still have to figure out childcare, and they still have to figure out transportation. And thus, why making the cuts to the SNAP program is a really bad move. But that's a different topic for a different day.
Let's take a break.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. We know you love your pets. They love you too, so don't forget. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them. Meow. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Our friendly staff is available 7 days a week to show you a variety of high-quality, local, and national brand pet foods. Be sure to visit our freezer area for a large selection of diets and bones. Bark and Scratch Outpost, 5835 West Blue Mound Road. Leashed pets are always welcome. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
One great day of golf can change lives. And Monday, August 31st, next Monday, Point Taken will be broadcasting live from Oakwood Park Golf Course in Franklin for the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County Swing for the Kettle Golf Invitational. Your participation directly supports food, shelter, and life-changing programs for children and families throughout our community. Find out how you can support our community today by visiting samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org.
Whoop, just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, nope. No shortcuts, nope. It's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. You betcha. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle. For a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. No. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
Vince Vitrano here, proud co-chair of UPAF's community campaign. Think about the performances that stayed with you this year. Milwaukee Rep, First Stage, The Symphony, or a powerful local production that moved you to your feet. Your gift to UPAF supports every one of these moments year-round. funding local organizations, arts education, and access to performances across the community. Right now, Northwestern Mutual will match your new or increased gift of $1,200 or more. Donate today at upaf.org.
11:20 on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ on the Tuesday edition. Chris and Steve. Budgets are tough for everybody. I spent some. Who was I talking to the other day? Might have been away from the show on Scaffidiology, but we started talking about middle class. And the description of what middle class is, and I think I'm in the middle class. I would think you probably represent. You're in the middle class.
Well, I guess what is middle class?
It's most of us, I would argue.
Do you consider it a percentage of like where the median income is? Like the top.
That's where it gets interesting.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not
people.
trying to nitpick. I'm just asking for you. Is it not being independently wealthy?
Yeah, basically. You don't live in $1 million home. You don't have 2 homes, which would be the sort of the upper class in my world. You don't drive a Range Rover or something like that. That's my definition.
Okay.
And again, just my whatever weird way I look at it.
Yeah, like everyone's definition for it is different.
But I've said for a long time, and you can argue or not argue about this, I think the middle class, they're not getting the helping hand that a lot of other people are. When I bring this stat up, everybody freaks out, but half the population pays no income tax. That's not a good thing. It results in a less than participatory economy, because other than your payroll tax and the other taxes you pay, sales tax, you're not in on what we're all trying to do, which is pay for government. And we benefit by roads, our entitlement programs, our social safety nets. All those things require some involvement, in my world, by everybody. So whether you make $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, you should be paying into the system. And we don't have that, at least measured by income tax. I think we have to start understanding that all of the groups that we like to talk about on social media and on talk radio shows and on TV, all the groups in some unique way are struggling to make things work for them. Whether it's the poor, whether it's middle class, even to some extent rich people, I suppose they have something to complain about. Probably
they have something to complain about.
Yeah,
but
probably
I'm not sure
a lot less.
They're complaining about different things, I
And
imagine.
the classic example is when we had the Social Security debate last week. There's a solution to fixing it. You just have to be brave enough to do it. Raise the cap, right? Or raise the age. That's it. Why is that a barrier to fixing it? And if you're opposed to that, what's your answer then? Because this is the maddening part about politics. There's not a simple solution. There's a solution out there that requires some heavy lifting, some thought, some buy-in from both of the major parties that say this could work. Because otherwise, we're going to be sitting here just stirring the pot, not getting anything solved. And this is what is maddening to me about politics, why I say politics is stupid every chance I get. Because there are solutions if you're willing to do that. Just like I raised the point, and I think you agreed, that looking at student loan debt in a more reasonable fashion by allowing refinancing, not getting these kids committed to these massive outlays of cash at the beginning and the front end, probably would make sense. And then we could actually have a more responsible population that could be able to deal with these things. And the last thing, because I don't want to leave out the people who are actually utilizing these programs, stop punishing people who don't have means. In what world does that make sense? Why would you do that? If you're a person of faith, that in my world, that violates the tenets of your faith. You treat everyone the way you want to be treated. So why would you penalize people because they don't have the means? Now, thankfully, we do have a lot of people that are doing their own thing with the safety net that we built in through hunger programs and all. Thank God for that. But again, stop demonizing people because where they're at as far as their income.
I always forget what the stat was when they finally did introduce Social Security and Medicare, of what it did to the poverty rates for the aging poor.
Yeah.
And like it is better for society for us to not have people who are starving and people who are homeless. Like there is positive externalities beyond the individuals who are being helped at society at large when wealth inequality is lower.
Yeah. Stop finding reasons to just penalize people. think about the process, right? Think about what you want to do with your life and why you want to help other people. And whether you're doing it independently, by yourself, great, awesome. Thank you for doing that. And great organizations. We've had a lot of those folks in this studio, and they talk about the great work that they do. And you've been involved a lot more than I am now. That's the work that's the heavy lifting that's being done. But this idea that we're going to penalize people because of what they are financially makes no sense whatsoever. So stop doing it. And once we get past that mindset, you got to hate somebody, just like we were talking about hate earlier, based on what one looks like or how they pray. You have to stop getting involved in those disputes. It's empty-headed nonsense. So think about solutions instead of just agitating. That's my point. Quick break.
Welcome back to Ask Hasslis. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hasslis Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Uh-huh, good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599, but Hasslis has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, plus free next day delivery.
So shopping at Hasslis won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasslis.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. In 1845, the first clerk of Washington County built a quaint one-room cabin in the Kettle Moraine Forest. In 1933, Ray Wolf, an avid outdoorsman, restored the cabin, built a basement bar, and opened it to fellow equestrians. It became headquarters for many a fox hunt, and the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club was born. And now, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every night, every night. Choice steaks, seafood, ribs, the roast duck. How about the surf and turf? Vegetarian options, any entree, all buy one, get one free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, my favorite part of the meal. Also, buy one, get one free. Wine down with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, more than 120 wines in the rustic bar, and there are 8 unique dining rooms. Experience a spectacular summer drive through the Kettle Moraine to the Fox and Hounds, recently honored as the second most popular supper club in the state by restaurant critic Troy Munson. Near the Holy Hill Shrine, it's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
From singing varsity to jump around, and of course, touchdown, Wisconsin! The traditions of Badger football live here. Join us Sunday, September 6th. It's the season opener at Lambeau against Notre Dame. Our coverage begins at 4:30 on your home for Wisconsin football.
For all the Badgers action this season, go to Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Good show today. Thanks for listening as always. You can find any or all of our great programs on our podcast page at WTMJ.com, or just search Point Taken. Probably just search your name, Kristen Bry. You find all our stuff and all your stuff. Because
you ever Google yourself?
No.
You don't?
Should I? What am I missing?
I don't know. Just what other people see when they see you.
What do you think it would show?
You know what my favorite things is?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I do Google myself every once in a while.
Really? And what are you looking for exactly?
Just, I want to see what pops up when people put my name in. So
Okay.
I'll do it from like a incognito.
So give me an
account.
example of what pops up.
Because you know how there's auto suggestions from Google?
Mhm.
So if I type in my name, I think about 3 down from the auto suggestions is Kristen Bry's husband.
Really? Would that be the incredible Mike Sampson?
It is.
Yeah.
But I love that someone's Googling, who is Kristen Bry's husband?
Because I'm a big fan of
Because that's how
homework.
he should be known.
Yeah. Right. Let's get his take on that one. I'm going to actually do that. That'll be my homework. I will Google myself and see. I'll probably
See what pops up.
I can probably tell you the mayor, Point taken.
Probably all WTMJ stuff pops up first, just because of the
Well,
SEO
I'll
behind
be curious to see what. That's a good test.
I wonder if you have a Wikipedia page.
I don't have one.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
would have thought after the high profile.
Don't you have to create your own page?
No, you're not supposed to create your own page. You get
Oh.
docked if they feel.
Well, maybe I
realize
do
you're
have one.
Commenting on your own or like editing your own page.
All right. Latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. and Canada digging in on tariffs. Canada outlined tariffs on U.S. goods set to go into effect September 8th in response to the U.S. 50% tariffs already in effect for a variety of Canadian imports. Those tariff hikes will likely get passed down to consumers. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more on what it could cost Americans.
We just got a new estimate from the Yale Budget Lab. They say that in total, all of the tariffs, including the 50% tariffs on Canadian imports that the U.S. put in place, will cost the typical American household $1,100 per year. That is a notable number when you're thinking about the fact that households are already paying higher costs because of persistently high inflation on other goods and services.
Thousands of customers remain without power in Gary, Indiana after severe storms and flooding nearly 2 weeks ago. The state's power company estimates power will be restored by midnight. On Wall Street, stocks are up in afternoon trading. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Calls continue for the resignation of the mayor of New Berlin after he shared anti-Muslim posts on social media. The National Council on American Islamic Relations joining the Wisconsin Muslim Civic Alliance in condemning Mayor Dave Ament's posts, calling for him to apologize to New Berlin's Muslim residents and resign from office. The New Berlin Common Council will meet tonight to discuss possible action against the mayor's posts. During a week when national headlines are packed with layoffs, one of the biggest companies in southeast Wisconsin is hiring.
Forget cuts. Uline is increasing staff ahead of its peak shipping season.
Right now, I would tell you that we see a record number of applicants come through, so we're looking for the best of the best.
That's Uline's Chief HR Officer, Gil De La Salas. He says Uline is using AI to help employees, not replace them.
Sometimes AI can, I think, maybe not be quite that smart yet. So for us, it's more how can we take certain tasks that are things that can be automated and do that, but not replace the content of the important work that they do.
Jessica Tai, WTMJ News.
And Milwaukee's Oriental Theater is one of less than just 20 across the country that can show 70-millimeter film year-round, and they're celebrating that with a week of classics.
Milwaukee Film Artistic Director Kara Ogburn says a 6-foot film reel takes some heavy lifting.
We have a changeover projector that actually changes from one machine to the other when that reel changes. It requires rhythm and strength to be a projectionist.
From West Side Story to Sinners, she tells WTMJ's What's on Tap how that celluloid film strip makes a movie special.
Sometimes you physically can tell that it is old, right? These are archival prints that we're showing for this week. So sometimes you'll see something that's like, ooh, that has a small scratch or that has some small imperfection.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 83 points, the NASDAQ up over 0.5%, and the S&P 500 sitting up 23. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the road. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Really only seeing our issues on 94 east and westbound a bit there through the stadium interchange. We had a crash earlier on the eastbound side. So that is kind of making you tap the brakes as you approach the stadium right between Hawley and 35th. Everywhere else, though, things are moving along nicely. Partly cloudy conditions as we move through the rest of your Tuesday. A high of 78 degrees. Could maybe see a shower or a storm pop up tonight. A low down to 65. Slight chance for maybe some rain as we head into Wednesday. Otherwise, partly cloudy and warmer with a high of 83. And then plenty of sunshine on Thursday with highs in the upper 70s. Right now, it's 74 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 75 in Waukesha, and it's 75 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when we have the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, save $20 on a DeWalt adjustable stool with casters, 15% off assorted Hillman hardware, and select bags of AgriMaster poultry feed, just $15.99. Plus, Chick Days start Friday, August 28th with a variety of egg layers and meat birds. Find value for the work you do every day at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
11:36 on a Tuesday edition of Point Taken. She joins us like once a month. Everybody's favorite influencer.
Steve's for sure.
You are my favorite influencer, even though I don't like influencers. I fully admit that, and you know that because we've had discourse on it, sort of. Kristen and Steve, of course, on the Tuesday edition. So I'm fascinated. I want to hear your responses. We've been spending a lot of time on talking about screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start another podcast series on the impact of screen time on kids, especially their mental health. And Kristen's been doing a lot of work with young people on all of that stuff. So you spend a lot of time on your screens, I would imagine.
Yes.
Do you want to share your number?
I mean, it's your job.
Do you know your number? Or if you could share it? Or
I don't know what it is, but it's probably a lot because also I tend to like edit videos on my phone too, just because the muscle memory, I'm faster at it. So
yeah.
I need to, figure that into the equation. But certainly I need to put my phone down. I was thinking about some people have like a little house phone holder in their kitchen, which I should do. I try to be off of it at least when the kids come home from school and before they go to bed. But yeah.
But for you, this is your livelihood. So, I mean, you make an allowance for that because you're trying to support yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a difference maker for me. But when you talk about young people, and I'm very passionate about this because for example, if you walk into a restaurant, this happened to Kathy and I 2 weeks ago. Walk in, there's a family, 2 parents, 3 kids, all 5 on their phones. There's not a word being said for like 15 minutes. As someone who spends all our time in that world, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, that's not a good thing. And that, it's not good to see it. It's probably not good to feel it. I mean, there's people. Let me back up for a second. So I have like younger kids. We don't really go out to dinner very often because nobody really wins.
That's your reality.
It's like, because people wouldn't be happy either way. People are going to judge us for having an iPad out, or they'll judge us if our kids are just being kids.
You get judged either way.
But I think, as they get older and everybody's sitting around on their phones, no, that's not. I think people are forgetting how to converse with each other a bit. And they're like, it's become the second nature. People just reach for it to escape things, and they're uncomfortable sitting in silence.
So as I started
to talk, feelings.
What's that?
Sitting with your feelings is hard.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm starting to have conversations with psychiatrists who actually deal with this issue with young people. And one of the first questions they ask is how much screen time you have. And if they don't know, they look it up. And you're talking double-digit hours per day on some of these kids. They're just constantly doing stuff after school. Some of them in school, not paying attention. And I worry that as much as I'm a guy who sort of understands some technology, but I'm not all in like you guys are. I just worry that once we dumb that down and they doom scroll and they get involved in all these petty conversations, probably primarily that kids get involved in, and adults too, for that matter, because we're not immune from that. It's damaging us, and that's my fear.
Totally. I totally agree. It should not be the default. We don't have any strict limits or anything because I don't really have the capacity to be that kind of parent, but also I just feel like that makes it sometimes even worse. Like both of our kids, when I tell them to turn it off, usually it goes off, and we try to do like PBS Kids and stuff like that.
So there's also conversation as far as how this is manifesting inside schools. Because
Yes.
we know since July, there's the new statewide ban that during class time, no phones. But at least in conversations I've had, that doesn't mean no screens. Doesn't mean no computer screens and laptop screens. It doesn't mean no Apple Watches. And so for you have a first grader starting very soon. Do you know what the expectations are? Like, is he getting a Chromebook?
I hope not. I guess that's a good question. He did not in kindergarten, and I don't know yet. I'll ask tonight when we go to back to school night, but I have talked to some friends in the Milwaukee area, in the suburbs, whose kids have their own laptops assigned as soon as first grade, and they actually have to bring them home every night too. And I guess I'm new to this, so I don't want to like judge too much, but I'm like, what? I don't.
That's the thing that I think there's, as much as you can have screen time regulations in your home, the adoption inside of schools, and I get some of the reasoning, right? It's as far as saving money on textbooks, because you can upload all the curriculum to a Chromebook. But then they have a Chromebook and they're staring at a screen instead of physical paper and turning pages and marking up and writing and stuff like that. So now there's a new parent group in Madison that's pushing to ban all screens in classrooms. And I don't know.
In all
it doesn't
classrooms?
Yeah.
But
or maybe
what
it's
grade?
maybe it's until high school.
That makes more sense.
I'm even okay. I feel like I mean, I have to look more into this. I feel like I'd even be okay with middle school. And we were talking about this a little bit. I think, technology is an inevitable part of our society. So I do feel like you have to start teaching good habits young. I don't think it's like as black or white as people want to make it out to be.
Yeah.
But
So you're not you would never say full ban on technology at school.
no.
Smartphones, all that.
Well, yeah, I don't think kids should have their phones out in class.
They don't need their phones in class.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No, they're not doing any research on those phones during class.
They're
you know?
not?
No.
That's surprising. She's Kate Duffy. She's an influencer. She's a lot of things. And we'll get into all that stuff and explore some of the influencing world, because I have thoughts, and you certainly do. And I know Kristen always has thoughts.
Always.
It's Point Taken on a Tuesday, 620 WTMJ.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is setting the stage to rock your socks off. This August, jam out with Real Rock Off. You could win raging prizes to the tune of $300,000. Get in on the jam session by playing with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. Thursday nights will be a game show battleground for your share of cash and reward play. Real Rock Off. It's gonna be epic. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scavini. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Don't want a broken garage door, bad opener, which is my problem. Call my friends at Geist today with brands like CHI, LiftMaster. They have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs, which are amazing, by the way, to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. Visit their showroom in Brookfield. It's absolutely amazing as well. Hundreds of doors for both budget and style and design. They can match any need you have on both accounts. Check out their opener room. It's absolutely amazing. The app technology, the camera technology, which is where I'm going. Don't think twice. Call Geist. Geist, Geis, geistdoors.com.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free, with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mineshaft will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mineshaft restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford. Click on party planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mineshaft.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
We're chatting with Kate Duffy. She's an influencer, a very, very smart person. And so I don't want to bring too much of the off-the-show stuff, but I've been very vocal about influencers, and I try to lay it out to you in the break, and I'll give the audience a sort of sample of that. I need more constructive behavior from influencers and less destructive behavior. And I would put it in this term. Demonization of parties and people who support a party, I don't think it's getting us anywhere. That's my beef with influencers. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense.
Let's get our mic on there. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Make the mic hot. Okay. It does make sense, but I think that also happens in actual politics all the time.
Sure,
we just see a lot of mudslinging. And I do think there's plenty to criticize for now. I think much of the criticism is fair. I also think the algorithms favor.
Yeah, they perpetuate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
So I don't know, I guess, what do you want, Steve? Like, what can you be more specific?
I naively want people to behave better. Don't take cheap shots, and snarkiness is cool in small doses, but I see so many people. That's why I've sort of moved away from Twitter, not calling it X because I know it's X. Don't send me a text. I'm very.
Don't at him.
Yeah, don't follow me or whatever that is.
I see you on Threads. He's come over to the
for now.
Yeah,
but I'm even there too.
Yeah, you because that was like a safe place, and now that's being polluted by all the same people I'm complaining about. So it's like I have nowhere to go.
But when you say destructive, do you mean
taking cheap shots at people?
Who were you mad that we were taking cheap shots at? Tom Tiffany?
Yeah. I mean, you made a comment about church or something that I thought was over. You said he stole money from the church collection thing.
That was a joke.
Yeah, I know it's a joke, but it's a cheap shot. And that's the kind of stuff.
So that's the question. Like, what is the line between a joke and a cheap shot?
That would be the line.
Yes, I think my joke was like Tom Tiffany probably steals money from the offering basket at church. Yeah. I thought that people knew that was a joke.
Yeah, obviously it's a joke. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But see, this is where nuance matters. Like, I hate the fact that Tom Tiffany is an election denier.
Yeah.
But there's also things that he does that I think a lot of people support. So there's nuance to everything in candidates. And this demonization of people because of their policy on one thing, I think gets us nowhere.
So I feel like what you're saying is you don't like the flattening of all things are bad, all things are good.
I said it to Kate during the break. This idea that some people have that one party has the answer to everything, it's on both sides of the aisle. Like, you can just go up the dial and find that nonsense. It's worthless to me because I believe in the C word, compromise, and the B word, bipartisanship. Most good legislation that will help all the people that we're all mostly worried about, that's where that comes from.
Do you think there's a space for that in political content?
Yes, I do, a bit. You know, I think there's a lot of normal people you talk to in the community. There's a lot of common ground there. In the actual elected officials, political establishment politics, there's less and less of that, you know? So why do the influencers or creators have to behave better than the actual politicians?
Well, set an example because you're an influencer. I guess that would be the one. The whole influence thing is silly to me anyway because I'm trying to think of an example of somewhere I was influenced by an influencer and I don't know.
You've never bought anything off the internet?
I hate shopping in general. I buy nothing. So, I mean, for me, it's... But I know they're popular.
Well, I do think there is sort of an issue that we're going to need to be aware of coming up with the next few election cycles because I think more and more people are starting to get involved and talk about this. And we saw in California, like some of them were being paid and like for the campaign specifically. And so But we also know more people are getting their news that way. And they're not even necessarily searching it out, but they're on their social feeds, on their screen time. We're all just a bunch of iPad toddlers, you know. They're coming across it. And yeah, it's the stuff that's getting pushed to them. That's what they're seeing more than looking at articles. So we have to figure out new ways to get through to people.
As somebody who produces a lot of content, and you do, and I see most of it, do you ever like afterwards go, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that or posted that?
Yes.
So that's someone that has a conscience, which is all I'm really asking, because some of it's so ugly. I don't have a place for that in my life. Maybe it's because I'm older and I just don't have time for that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we need to sit down and audit my stuff because I don't feel like I'm like that
You're
negative
not.
that often.
One of the reasons you're here is because you have
Every once in a
common
while,
sense.
you get really fired up.
Sometimes I do. And then but it's not like I plan things out. Honestly, I just like go and then say it.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I'm like, maybe I should have waited 24 hours for that. But, you know.
The pause that refreshes. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So do you think at some point as you look at your content you've created, and how long you've been doing this? Because you were in
5
marketing.
years.
5 years
Yeah.
of content. You're evolving to a place where maybe some of my criticisms might make sense to you, that a little more self-evaluating and
Yes, and you know what? That's nice feedback to hear, you know, and I can see, like, I also think about some of the things I say. I'm like, oh, my dad probably is not gonna like this. Like I said,
Does your
at
dad
first
weigh
it's-
in?
You cursing on the internet.
He doesn't anymore. But
He
he
lets you
did
alone.
like so often that I just know anyways what he's probably doesn't like.
that's the role of a dad.
But also I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Everything has such a short life. You just
Right.
keep going. And like I put up a video the other day apologizing for my tone about some things and
I
how I was
saw that
addressing
video
people.
and I thought that was awesome. So yeah, I think that's all
So
I'm talking
I
about.
do take criticism.
I know. And I don't want to unduly criticize you because I respect your talent.
No, it's
for
totally fair. I have no idea what
Yeah.
I'm doing every day. I'm just getting on there and yapping.
I love how we worked this out.
I barely
See, that's
do
why I
anything
love
here.
Kate Duffy, because she brings it. She's got the energy, the passion, which I appreciate on the online world, right? Because otherwise it's boring as hell. And if I see one more video where someone is depressed and they're just talking to the camera, it's like, I hate those videos. Come on.
Next commercial break, can we go through your
Yeah.
algorithm and see what's going on in your thing?
Oh.
That
They
might
would-
shed
Fire
some
up your
light.
Instagram.
It's
Let's
guys
see what's
building
there.
cabins in the woods. It's flowers.
I
Man-
do like your gardening content,
Yeah,
Steve.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. With quick break, point taken.
Okay.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burghardt Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burghardt.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. If retirement is on the horizon, good job. Or you're already enjoying it, excellent. Are you where you thought you would be with your portfolio? Having a clear understanding of what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is critical to building confidence in your financial plan. But it doesn't stop there. Once your plan is in place, have you considered who will carry on your financial legacy? Annex Wealth Management can help implement strategies to support your plan with a focus on your goals for the people who matter most. Reviewing that estate plan can provide clarity, security, and confidence in your family's financial and emotional future. Unlike firms that sell commission products, Annex Wealth Management acts as a fee-only fiduciary. That matters. Always focused on your best interest. Retirement planning, investment guidance, estate plans, business, and tax strategies all are done at Annex. See what they do in person. Join Annex in person on Wednesday, September 9th at their Brookfield headquarters for single and retirement. Great resources exploring your plan for healthcare, housing, finances, and creating a support network. To reserve your spot, click events at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com.
It's ESP Wisconsin's Ben Bruss here for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of the house this summer and enjoy a great weekend at Road America, located conveniently between Milwaukee and Green Bay in Elkhart Lake. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Bring the whole family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. Camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in racing your way. It's more than a race, it's a full-day experience. GT World Challenge is up next, coming to Road America August 28th through the 30th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today today at roadamerica.com.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Sports parents know the countless hours and dollars spent on practice, games, equipment, training, travel. So when an injury happens, why don't we invest in recovery too? Vince Vitrano for MD Hyperbaric. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy supports the body's natural healing process, whether it's recovering from injury or a concussion, because it's not just about getting your athlete back on the field, it's about helping them recover for school, work, and life long after the season ends. Learn more at mdhyperbaric.com.
Save now during the Ken Michaels Furniture Labor Day sale.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 25th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 25th at 6:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma sports station.
We got about a minute left with our influencer pal, Kate Duffy, who joins us about once a month, and texters are saying you should be here more often, so maybe we'll make that happen.
Yeah, I just got to be invited.
All right, so you got about a minute. Election thoughts. We now have our two final candidates.
Yes, I'm very happy to be past the primary. I think there's obviously a huge contrast between the candidates, and people should just look into both of them. I know people are saying they're not really familiar with David Crowley, so hopefully you'll be seeing more of him, and I would just encourage everybody to look into him. Yeah, hopefully there doesn't need to be a lot of mudslinging. It's just the facts that they have very, very different policy views. So whatever aligns more with your life and your values.
The primary for Democrats was marked by a really big turnout. Will we see that in the general, do you think, on the Democratic side?
I think so,
I
yes.
think so.
That on its own suggests that there will be a coming together of thought.
Yeah, we
regardless of who's
got
supported.
a trifecta to win. So
Well, you also live in a flippable assembly district.
I do.
As far as Bob Donovan is currently your representative. But
Yeah.
who is the Democratic challenger?
His name is Ben Brist, and he's a veteran. He went to West Point. He's actually, I mean, I think you would probably really like him. He's a really impressive guy.
Ben Brist.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Ben Brust, our teammate.
Yeah, it's a hell of a resume, too, by the way. You dropped a West Point and a veteran on there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good experience.
All right, we'll see you sooner rather than later, Kate
Sounds
Duffy.
good.
I'd certainly see you online. You can follow her at Kate Duffy. Is that
Motherhood for Good.
Mother for Good? That's
Motherhood
right.
for Good. And also, here's a suggestion for you. Kate should fill in for Kristen when she's gone, or even for Steve when he's gone.
Oh.
Female power.
Would you come in
from the
for her?
414?
Sure, but it would be really fun to fill in for you.
Well, let's see if we can make that
I will
happen.
come in, though.
All right.
I'll be a
Either
sub.
way. All right. News is next. Thanks for listening on this Tuesday.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for.